Welcome to Expert Insights, your window to industry trends and an inside look from the decision makers shaping them. Today, we are featuring Eric Savage, co-chair Emerging Technologies and Venture Capital Industry Group at Littler, who shares the latest developments in labor law and the evolving employer-employee relationship.
And the biggest issue that really came up was the phenomenon that we at Littler refer to as the wandering worker. This is the person who used to work in your office in one city or one state, and he has either moved back home with his or her family, is moved to a different part of the country, or in some cases, is no longer coming into the office, but is working from home in a different state just over the border from where you are. Of course, this gets amplified when you go across borders, where you have, for example, the U.S. concept of at-will employment, which is almost unknown anywhere else in the world. And you have issues about non-compete agreements, and companies have found themselves very much on the back foot in dealing with this. So what we have been trying to help companies deal with is to take a step back, figure out where their workforce is, and then the hardest thing is try to make a decision on how they're going to go forward. So it has certainly put workers in a stronger bargaining position, particularly in terms of recruiting. And it is forced, I think, employers to rethink what work is going to be like. Work is what you do, it's not where you do it. And then the question becomes, how does the company justify and how can they articulate the reasons why it's important for people to be in the office with their colleagues 1 day a week, 3 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever it is. When we've dealt with disability cases, in the past, we've heard employers say, well, being present at the job is an essential function of your work, so therefore you have to be here, and if you can't, then we can't accommodate you with that. I think that whole line of thinking is gone now, or almost gone, and companies are going to have to be prepared to articulate why it's essential for people to be in the office as opposed to doing the exact same things when they can be sitting, at their desk, on their porch, whatever, with a laptop and a cell phone and doing whatever they do. When we used to talk about worker mobility, we would talk about people being able to move from one country to another and how freely could they do that, and the immigration issues. And now you're talking about mobility with people staying put. And I think you're going to see that increasingly, particularly as the need for talent, the competition for talent, both heat up. But at the same time, there is decreased and not yet coming back to to real life, so to speak, the physical mobility that we used to see. So the two issues that I see, or the two trends that I see, one is, and again, extreme caution and care about how you work with and how you engage the mobile or the non-local worker. I think we will continue to see that. I think we're going to continue to see the evolution of the wandering worker issue here. One of the interesting trends that's happened, again, it's no secret that United States employment law tends to be much more pro-employer than in most other industrialized countries. The COVID has forced a change in thinking and a certain amount of reconcepting, again, if that's a word, the workplace. You've seen a lot of states here in the U.S. taking things into their own hands. Similarly, we see fragmentation in areas such as non-competes. which again vary widely across Europe and Asia and other parts of the world. I think now in the United States there are something like 20 plus state legislatures which are considering new restrictions on non-competes, leaving aside the restrictions which already exist. But I think there has been a certain degree of rethinking going on, not at all levels of government and not in all states, but I think enough, frankly enough, to make it even more confusing than it already is. And then, of course, for American employers who are abroad, trying to deal with, what the rules are in France or Belgium or China or anywhere else makes it even harder to figure out what to do, particularly without local counsel boots on the ground who can tell you what's really going on and what you need to know. The past is no guide. I think it means that companies need to be very aware of local laws because they're going to be changing. Whether it's in individual states here in the United States, whether it's going to be increased employee protection elsewhere, I think there is an unmistakable trend. I think that the changes in the law that we will see, and I can't tell you what they're going to be, are going to be increasingly protective of employees, because I think U.S. companies are going to have to rely increasingly on foreign talent. We still don't know how the immigration issues are going to play out here in the United States in terms of allowing in entrepreneurs or even regular more blue collar workers. So there's going to be an increased need for that.